Okay, section 54F. This section basically deals with capital gains on transfer of any long-term capital asset other than a residential house property called RP out here to an individual or HUF. Now we saw capital gain arising on transfer of a residential property to an individual or HUF, but dealt with in section 54, where the exemption was available if he invested this money in another residential house property. This is something similar. The only thing is a couple of differences are there. Let's go through it, and then at the end I'll tell you the differences. So deduction is available to an individual or HUF. Okay, the capital asset transferred has to be a long-term capital asset. Okay, it's not a short-term capital asset. Okay, not being a residential house. If it is a residential house, you go back to section 54. If it is a long-term capital asset other than a residential house, then the exemption can be claimed under this section. The condition is that the assessee should not own more than one house property on the date of transfer. So if on the date of transfer you don't own more than one house property, okay, the word one is missing here, please write it down, then in that case you can come and claim an exemption under this section. So what is happening here is you are transferring a long-term capital asset other than a residential house, you have some capital gain. Now you want to claim an exemption for this capital gain, then the law requires that you have to purchase a residential house property. Okay, let's say your capital gains are 1,000, okay, and you go and buy a residential house property. Then how much of this 1,000 will be exempt? The amount exempted will be 1,000 into amount invested. Let's say you invest 500, okay, divided by the net consideration, right? So instead of dividing it by the amount of capital gain, you have to divide it by the net consideration, right? And whatever is the exemption which comes in here, you are entitled to an exemption. Okay, so unlike the earlier case where the exemption was either the amount of capital gains or the amount of investments, here the amount of capital gains is to be considered in proportion to the net consideration that you receive. So if you receive, let's say 10 lakh, but you invest only 5 lakh, then the amount of capital gains exempt is also proportionated. So 5 lakh divided by 10 lakh or 50%, right? The condition in relation to purchase of residential house property are the same as section 54, which is that if you want to purchase it, it has to be 1 year before or 2 years after the date of transfer, or 3 years after the date of transfer if it is constructed. Similarly, just like section 54 and the other ones that we saw earlier, in case you do not purchase, okay, or if you are constructing, the construction is not completed before the due date of filing of return of income of such year, you can invest the balance amount in the capital gains amount scheme, okay. And the last condition is that if the new asset is sold, okay, I'm talking about this new house property that you purchased, within 3 years from the date of purchase stroke construction, following implication shall arise. The first one is that there will obviously be a short-term capital gain on the transfer of new asset, which is this house property. Why? Because you're transferring it before 3 years. Okay, and a residential house property becomes a long-term capital asset if it is held for more than 36 months, right? And the second is that the long-term capital gain exempted earlier under section 54F, which we had calculated like this, will now be taxable as long-term capital gain of the year when the asset is transferred. So this is the difference which is there vis-a-vis this section and section 54. So basically, if you see in section 54 and 54F, there are two differences. In 54, the transfer was of residential house property. Here transfer is other asset other than a residential house property. Here the exemption was based on amount of capital gain, okay, or total investment. Here you basically see what is the capital gain, what is your investment divided by the net consideration, right? So let's say in this case, if 2 lakh was the capital gain, you invest 4 lakh, the exemption available was 2 lakh. Okay, in this case, if capital gain is 2 lakh, you invest 4 lakh, but you received 10 lakh, then the exemption which will be available is also going to be 80,000. Capital gain scheme is available in both the sections. Now, from a tax perspective, if the residential house property is sold, right, then basically a little bit of a difference is there. In this case, what happened was the cost of acquisition of new residential property was reduced by the amount of capital gain exemption earlier. Okay, so if the exemption was 2 lakh here, you will reduce 2 lakh from here. Whereas in this case, whatever is the capital gain on this is treated as short-term capital gain. The amount of exemption given earlier is treated as long-term capital gain and taxed accordingly. Right? So these are the differences between these two sections.